So before we get into the madness, I just want to do a quick survey and figure out, how does everybody feel about the FDA? Like, remember back in the day when that FDA approved, that thing held weight, but I'm not seeing it as much right now. So I want to know y'all's opinion on which side of the fence y'all fall on with the FDA. All right? And let's get to it. So you know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
The FDA has a position that food coloring like 40 are safe for kids' ingestion. Do both of you stand behind that, Dr. Caleb?
I'm going to refer that to Mr. Jones.
Okay.
We have not evaluated Red 40 in over a decade. Over a decade ago,
we have not.
We have not. At FDA, we have not evaluated the safety of Red 40 in over a decade. So over a decade, that was the conclusion that FDA made.
But we have evaluated. We are in the process of evaluating Red 3, and you may want to comment on that.
Well, right. let me say this: Red 3 has been known to cause cancer in cosmetics, but we still allow it to be put in our food. I don't understand that. Go ahead.
So Red 3, we have a petition in front of us to revoke the authorization for it, and we are hopeful that within the next few weeks we will be acting on that petition, and a decision should be forthcoming.
Tell us that process. How does that work? The timeline. If we know something's deadly for anybody that ingests it, how do we continue to just study that and not say, hey, enough's enough?
So Red 3 presents an interesting example for us. It is actually known to be cancer in laboratory animals, rats, but the scientific consensus is that the mechanism of carcinogenicity in rats is not applicable in humans. However, under the FFDCA, which is the law that we implement, any chemical that is shown to be carcinogenic in animals or humans, or should I say humans or animals, cannot be authorized by FDA. It's called the Delaney Clause. And so even though we don't believe there is a risk to humans under the Delaney Clause of the FFDCA, red dye, because it is known to cause cancer in laboratory animals, should not be authorized. And so that is what has been challenged FDA for many years, is how to manage around the Delaney Clause, where you have a scenario where, although there may be cancer evidence in animals, there is also evidence that is not harmful to humans.
The FDA has a position that...
Wait a minute. First of all, let's back up. 10 years they were saying they hadn't done that? So how often should you be checking something to get an update on it? Number one. I know it's a lot of things out there that has that FDA approval on there. So if you need to hire more people, let's get it done. Number two, if you're hearing that something could cause something and then you have to go test it, shouldn't we pull it off the shelves until we test it and verify that it's am I tripping, or is this not common sense? That's scary to hear. We're in the process. We're in the process of doing something. We're about to do something. We have it in front of us to do something. But yet you're hearing that it's causing these certain things. That just sounds insane to me.
To the index, the FDA issuing an urgent warning tonight for vets and dog owners about a widely used painkiller given to help dogs with arthritis. The agency says the drug Librela could lead to dangerous side effects, including seizures, loss of muscle control, possibly death. The FDA reviewing more than 3,600 cases. Drug maker Zoetis insists the drug is safe.
The definition of what is a healthy food is being redefined. The FDA announced new rules yesterday about which foods can claim to be healthy on their packaging. The guidelines include limits on saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. And quote-unquote healthy food products must also contain at least one of the key food groups, like fruits and vegetables and protein. So this means that sweetened stuff like sweetened yogurt, sugary cereal, white bread, they no longer qualify. Goodbye, the diet of my childhood. However, food...
I was about to say, the thing everything you've been eating your entire life now is considered not healthy. But I can recall sitting at the table and seeing heart healthy on things, heart healthy this on this type of cereal, Cheerios, different things like that. All this type of stuff. But now, that's why I said, man, every decade it's interesting to see what the past decade was considered and deemed healthy is now no longer that in this decade. It's just interesting to see. That's why when I looked at that video and watched that video of the lady talking about she ate ramen noodles for 20 years when she was in prison, now she's home and her health is tip-top shape. Normal people, we all looking at that like, how? With all the sodium and everything we've heard about it, we're like, how? It just, nothing makes sense anymore, bro.
What is that?
Dude, it's so fast. That's literally a drone.
Oh my God.
Weird.
Oh my God. It's so low. Holy guys. That's not an airplane.
Dude, I never expected this.
Where are they going?
I don't know. They're literally like all.
They're like
in the
right
same
above
direction.
the trees.
There's one right there. There's one over there. There was another one over there. I literally watched them
It's
the
like the
whole time I was
size of a car. Here it comes over us. See it? It's going right over the house.
It is.
See it?
Oh, Ashley, it's right above us by the house. Oh,
Do you hear it?
no, look at that one. Oh my God.
What is that? Holy. What is that?
Oh.
Now tell me when you've ever seen two planes fly that closely by each other. Because I know somebody's going to be in the comment section talking about planes. Tell me when you've seen two fly that close together. I can't recall that. Bro. I am hanging on because Trump said when he gets in office, day one, give him some time to get in office and inauguration and everything like that. But day one, he's going to, well, not day one, but day two, he's going to talk about these drones. So I'm hanging on.
Ashley, it's right above us by the house. Oh. Do you hear it? Oh, look at that one.
Oh my God.
What is that? That's weird.
Breaking news, folks, it's finally happening. Full disclosure about the aliens, or NHI, non-human intelligence, is coming next week. That's from mainstream American news. Stephen Greer has just said so, that the American Air Force are planning on disclosing next week our history with non-human intelligence and that they live among us. And this is my friendly reminder that aliens are not from outer space. They're demons and they're extraterrestrial, which means extra land. Don't be deceived. Jesus loves you. Breaking news.
Now, mind you, I say I'm hanging on, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happens and you say a week turns into a month or a month turns into 3 months. Like, I'm not holding my breath on it. Let's put it that way. But I am anxious to see if it's going to be spoken about, and what information are they going to give us? Are they going to give us something and we walk away from it saying they just straight up lied to our face? We know better than that. Or do we think they're going to actually give us the truth?
You're really surprised there's aliens in the ocean? This really shows how much y'all don't be getting on y'all Zoom. I believe that outer space is a distraction and space is really under the ocean. Space is not real. It never has been real. It's never going to be real. It's a distraction. And for content purposes, I'm completely crazy. Everything I'm about to say is completely alleged and I don't know what the I'm talking about. In 2014, researchers found a body of water 430 miles under the Earth's surface. This body of water had 3 times more water than the actual Earth itself. The Earth is 71% water. They said that this body of water took a fourth state. It was not a solid, liquid, or a gas. It's some sort of unexplainable substance. Only 5% of the ocean has ever been explored, so this would explain space being at the bottom of the ocean. Because how is it possible that you have built rocket ships and launched human beings to outer space to explore the moon and other planets, but only 5% of something that's in your own backyard has been explored? Me personally, I'm not surprised. This is not going to be the first thing you see about aliens. This is not going to be the last thing you see about aliens.
Yo, that dog said, you got one more time for something to fall or something to happen, and I'm out. You seen him the first time he looked, and then the second thing went to fall, he was like, all right, now one more time, and I'm out. I'm leaving you here, man. You figure this out. You call me when you got to figure it out. Bro, the dogs gave everything. Yo, bro, better check his house or something. Burn some sage or something in there. He got something in there that it ain't right.
There's a really common belief that the hair theory is real. If you don't know what the hair theory is, here's a quick rundown. The hair theory is a theory that states people will perceive you, make you out to be a certain type of way, or categorize you depending on your hairstyle. Something as little as the side part makes people believe they're able to tell exactly what decade I was born in. People advise doing a middle part if you want to look more youthful and fit in with the trends. People think that having shorter hair can give off a certain type of vibe or energy that long hair wouldn't give off. A lot of people believe that thick, long, full hair gives off a more sultry vibe. And a standard ponytail makes people look more athletic, stronger, more youthful and fun. Ponytails have also been stereotyped as boring and nerdy. People with even shorter haircuts and pixie cuts are often perceived as being more quirky and artistic. A lot of people are also triggered by certain hairstyles. They feel like they're not age appropriate. Do you think that the hair theory is real? Do you think that my looks changed up depending on what style hair I had? There's a really common...
Hey, I was going to be like, yo, this is crazy. But the more she kept changing, the more I kept seeing different people in my brain. My brain kept telling me, it was like, yeah, don't take that person. Yeah, that person looks athletic. Yeah, that... Like, I'm not lying, like sitting there seeing that really messed me up, bro. Like, that's crazy. I never really paid attention to that though. Ladies, what have y'all been doing to us? She might have just pulled the, the curtain back. She just pulled the curtain back and showed what y'all be doing to us. We on y'all heels now. Yeah.
I'm gonna play a recording of people chanting, "That is embarrassing," 4 times. After the 4th time, write down what you hear. Interesting. Almost everyone here heard "that is embarrassing." Listen again and watch the screen. You heard the same thing every single time. Our eyes and ears take in electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality. We see our reality. I'm gonna...
Oh, bro, this just confirms what they've been doing to us, man. That TV, bro, the more I hear people talk about the television and break it down and how it's controlled our minds for years and what it's done to us and how they've used it to manipulate, the more you see stuff and hear stuff like that and you realize it. And people aren't crazy, fam. They are serious about what certain things have done and how it's done things to our minds.
All right, so I'll be quick. I've been telling people to stock up for some time now, right? Start collecting your stuff, getting prepared. Even recently, maybe past couple of weeks, I've been saying stock up. Wasn't sure what was about to come. I just kept saying stock up. I even posted some stuff about what you need to buy and what's about to happen. Now, China have a virus. And that virus is now here in the U.S. It almost sounds like deja vu from COVID, right? When they said, oh, it's not serious, da, da, da. And then a couple of weeks later, we were boom, bam, door slam, lockdown, kept us locked up. All right, so.
And I ain't trying to go back to that, bro. I'm not trying to go back. 2020 is so far removed. You know what I mean? Even though 2025 it's got its own thing going on, it's definitely proven it has its own identity for sure, for sure. But I don't want to go back to that lockdown, fam. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember what that was like? And then when we finally came outside, bro, it was like we were just, for the first time, nah, we don't need to go back there, man. We don't need to go back.
The price of eggs is quickly rising because of this bird flu outbreak, and we spoke with both restaurant owners and shoppers right here at Market Basket who say now they're adjusting to this new normal.
The price of eggs have basically doubled in the last month or so.
An outbreak of bird flu sending the prices of eggs soaring. For restaurant owners here in Massachusetts, some now paying $100 for a case of 30 dozen eggs versus an average of $50 a case.
You're really at the mercy of whoever's controlling these commodity markets, and it's difficult because we can't just reprint our menus every day. We have to kind of absorb the cost.
Just in December, the USDA reported over 18 million birds were affected by avian flu, with the typical cost of a dozen eggs nationwide jumping over 60% the last year.
I always want to do the right thing, but I've never had somebody say, hey, don't order an omelet, anything like that. So right. I feel like they're fair.
The latest numbers from the agency showing that large white egg prices by the dozen delivered to warehouses are ranging from about $6.03 to $6.17 here in the Northeast.
75% of our menu is egg-based in some way, either eggs itself or in the recipe. So, it's a big concern for a restaurant like us.
Restaurants like this one in Waltham now eating the cost of the egg increase for now, not raising prices on customers.
Now, the scary part about that is, what will they substitute? Because we all know certain restaurants ain't going to be honest about it, and they're not going to pay these prices. But they're still going to serve it like they got eggs. So what are they substituting those eggs for? That's the scary thing. Like, you might need to chill on eating out certain places right now if you think about it. Because we all know that some businesses love to cut corners. And if a lot of your stuff is egg-based and the prices is going up, but your menu hasn't changed, then what are you substituting with those eggs? I don't even want to know. I'm going to just stay out of it.
Literally bought all these eggs.
Put it back. You know how you used to get onto a little kid? Put it back. Put it back. How is that even allowed to even do that? That many eggs, bro. And they must know something, fam. They know something else that we don't know. Like the eggs. They're going to be selling eggs on the corner pretty soon. There ain't going to be no more women on the corner trying to, let's come and have a good time. No, it's going to be eggs being sold on the corner. You're going to see a guy walk out with a trench coat, and instead of jewelry on the inside, he's going to open it up. It's going to be eggs. Hey, my man, I got them eggs. Got them eggs, bro. You know what I mean? Carton of eggs, fam. 2 for $5, 3 for 10. Like, that's what you about to start seeing, bro. Instead of handbags and stuff like that, it's going to be eggs. Egg baskets. That you're going to get them new Dior eggs. I'm telling you, fam. Gucci eggs.
Under the permafrost in Greenland is a lot of lithium. That's what this is about. But it is a national security situation because China is running such a big deficit with the United States, which means they make so much money off of us, it's propping up their very vicious communist regime, the money they get for the USA. Trump knows that. And here's the kicker on it. The United States is not going to invade Greenland, all right? What we're going to do is sign a lease to harvest raw materials, giving Copenhagen a nice cut. And the king over there, Victor, he'll get a nice little pension for himself. And we'll go in, we'll do the lifting, we'll get the stuff out. Copenhagen and Denmark will prosper, and we'll have an advantage over China. That's what it's about.
It's going to be pretty hard to sneak into the state of Texas without Governor Greg Abbott knowing about it. These construction crews are expanding the wall, and with that, they're actually putting up these cameras all along the border wall. There are 7,600 of these cameras along the southern border. 1,000 of them look like this, where they're affixed to the wall, monitoring every bit of activity that's happening down here. Now, they are being monitored by Texas DPS at their Border Operations Center in Austin. We are told that there are 2,500 additional cameras that they're going to be deploying over the next couple of months. Now, they set aside about $11 billion under Operation Lone Star. Now, that is Texas taxpayer dollars that they're using for border security, which includes expanding this wall and putting up these cameras.
Tonight, a relentless firefight far from over. Frontline crews facing challenges that only start with the flames.
What do we got going?
So what we have is the fire's already burned through here.
What we're looking at right now could have been caused by a single ember.
One ember could have caused this.
We join Los Angeles Fire Captain Adam Van Gerpen in the Pacific Palisades.
This hydrant has no water in it.
Where lack of water, critical to battling a still active wildfire, frustrated crews. This one from San Francisco.
What should the water pressure be right now, ideally?
I mean, you want 50 to 80 is your ideal hydrant pressure.
And what have you got?
I'm bouncing between 0, 50. It's not a consistent pressure.
As nearby hydrants failed and water pressure fell, firefighters above switching from offense to defense.
When you run out of water in that engine,
not much we can do then. We came on, this is our first job for the day.
Flames burning for precious minutes before any reinforcements could arrive.
Had we had water earlier on in the firefight, we probably could have stopped it from getting this big.
this is something we have not seen often, but when the hydrants are dry, crews have to rely on these tanker trucks because the fire waits for no one.
The situation.
So basically saying the tanker truck, which normally has a little more than, depending on what type of tankers they have, can have a little more than 1,000 on there. I don't know what their tankers have on them. But now they're shuttling. So we spoke about that before. I was saying that they're going to have to find a hydrant that works. And now the trucks, you got one station right there at the fire that doesn't move, but the other ones that are coming in, they'll shuttle. They'll shuttle. They go fill up at the hydrant, come in, fill the actual truck that's supplying the hose lines, fill it back up, go back, fill up, and that'll be that. That'll be their job until they go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And that's what they're going to have to do with these hydrants, which is crazy. But you got to do what you got to do.
Situation, a familiar one for the captain, a 25-year veteran of the LAFD. Mere blocks away, another call coming in for another home up in flames.
If we had any wind right now, completely different firefight?
100% different firefight.
Just feet away, $1 million view burned beyond recognition.
There's not even a single home from this entire viewpoint that we can see that has survived.
If you had officials in front of you right now, what would you ask for to have had a proper firefight here?
More firefighters, more fire hydrants, more airdropping capabilities. We need more of everything.
Tonight, these crews doing whatever they can with whatever they have, fighting a historic disaster head on.
And Morgan, this all coming out of a red flag warning. Do those remain in effect?
Yeah, Lester, they absolutely do. And that's one of the big concerns of the crew we embedded with today. They tell us that one ember can travel up to 2 miles. And that is why until that red flag warning expires at 6 p.m. on Friday, everyone needs to stay on guard because a potential fire could pop up almost anywhere. Lester.
Morgan Chesky, thank you.
We begin with the fire emergency in Los Angeles. The most severe wind warning is in effect again this morning, threatening to start new fires, spread existing ones. This new danger comes as we also learn new information about what may have sparked the Palisades fire. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is on the scene. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. The next 11 hours here are going to be absolutely critical. Very low humidity. The winds are going to come howling down canyons like this, which is why fire officials have pre-positioned so many trucks in almost every driveway here. This goes on, and all about 15,000 firefighters in Southern California right now. They are concerned that these winds could whip up embers and ignite new fires here.
This morning, for the second straight day, millions facing an extreme fire risk in Southern California. The next 12 hours, critical.
Everybody here urges you to remain alert, as danger has not yet passed.
Fire crews scrambling to mop up any remaining hotspots, fearing that powerful Santa Ana winds and dry conditions could rekindle the monstrous Eaton and Palisades fires. Palisades fire now 18% contained as new clues emerge about how it may have started. ABC News has learned that the ATF, the federal agency charged with investigating arson and explosions, is zeroing in on the Palisades Highland area.
The foot of the fire started real close to where the last fire was on New Year's Eve.
Some residents pointing to this fire, first reported on the hillside just after midnight on New Year's Day.
LAFD had sent helicopters and had sent trucks to put that fire out. They were there for hours, circling overhead. We assumed then the fire was out. For the next several nights, there were fireworks again going off at night in various areas in the hills.
By 3:38 a.m., the fire is stopped, and an hour later, by 4:46, fully contained. Fire officials say that ash pits or tree roots can smolder for days unseen.
Wait, we were right behind it.
Then
So I kept saying, bro, that smoldering, when you think you got it out, bro, that's why if you go back in this video right here, in this clip, you'll see somebody spraying and somebody trying to clear and move and spread it out. Think about it like this. If you got like a pile of leaves and it's burning, or a pile of pallets, a stack of pallets, or whatever it is, wood, as long as it's a pile, you think you put it out, but right at that bottom, it's still smoldering. You got to level that thing flat and get all up in there good with that hose and that water. You got to get all up. You got to move stuff around, everything. That's why them guys are going to be exhausted, and they're having to work like extremely quick to try to beat the wind. Yeah, those guys are going to be exhausted.
At 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, January 7th, the Palisades fire was reported. These side-by-side satellite images seem to show that fire starting at nearly the same spot as the fire the week before. We witnessed the furious firefighting efforts at that spot as the Palisades fire began to spread.
Just in the past couple of seconds since we've been here, this fire has crested this little hill we're on. The entire basin here is engulfed in flames.
FEMA on the ground in L.A. already receiving 40,000 aid applications. 84-year-old Susan Solser says she watched the Palisades fire approach her home from her kitchen window before fighting the fire with her 86-year-old husband, Winston, saving their home.
I wasn't sure where Winston was. Couldn't contact him, but it turned out he was at the south end of the house doing the same thing.
The Palisades and Eaton fires have claimed the lives of 25 people, and the survivors are still reeling.
It was literally shooting like fireballs. It looked like a volcano.
Zaire Calvin remembers the Eaton fire surging towards the place he's called home for 47 years.
I got the
You're getting your mother.
Getting my mother. We're going. I go to the left, and my sister's car is still there.
He says he thought his sister, Evelyn McClendon, had managed to leave already. The next day, they located her.
When you're mourning your sister's death, there's no real understanding. There's no understanding. There's no way to even take it in.
The family hit hard, but not giving up on their community.
Everyone is fighting. Everyone is literally just asking, leaning on each other to say, what's next? What's the best thing to do?
Folks like Zaire Calvin say that they can rebuild. They just need the financial resources and support in order to do it. Now, something that authorities here are very concerned about. Over the past 8 days, there have been 3 particularly dangerous situation alerts put out by the National Weather Service. There have also been some mistaken text alerts on that emergency alert system put out by the county, and officials are concerned there will be complacency, but they are pleading with folks to heed those warnings. They say lives are at stake.
Michael.
You can definitely feel the heartbreak there, and you definitely need to take those warnings seriously. Thank you so much, Matt.